Welcome back, CEO. You're listening to the CEO Shift Show, the movement for service-based business owners who are done running their business like a frantic job and ready to operate it like the scalable asset it has always meant to be. And today we're talking about one of the most honest topics of the year. Can your business actually run without you during holidays? Or does everything fall apart the moment that you step away? And listen, if you felt that in your nervous system, you're in the right place, because today's episode is not about Christmas cheer or generic self-care. It's about the truth. If you can't step away for a week, you don't have a business. You have a job disguised as a business. But we're going to fix that. So if you're ready to think differently, operate differently, and lead differently, hit subscribe, share this episode, and let's get honest about the systems gap that shows up every December. Here's one of the things that nobody wants to admit out loud. December reveals the truth about your business. Not January, not Q2, not when everything is running smoothly. December. It exposes your bottlenecks. It exposes where you're overfunctioning. And it exposes where your team is guessing. And it exposes where your systems are flimsy. And how much you've been holding together by sheer force and will. Most CEOs think December stress is just because it's the holidays. December pressure shows you exactly where your business would break if you disappeared. And this episode is here to show you how to change that. Not with willpower, but with architecture. Let me tell you a quick story. One of my clients, we'll call him Mark. He took 10 days off last December for the first time in over a decade. 10 days. This man hadn't taken a full week off since the Yellow Pages era. And here's what shocked him. Not only did the business run without him, it actually ran better. Why? Because his team had finally had the space to step up. They didn't ping him every hour. They didn't need approvals for those tiny decisions. And they didn't panic when a client emailed. They followed the operational rhythm that we set for the weekly actions. They used the SOPs. They trusted their roles. And Mark realized something powerful. His absence revealed the strength of the system, not the weakness. This is the identity shift that we're working on. I want to walk you through the exact architecture that makes this possible, no matter what your business looks like. So here's where we shift from awareness into architecture. Because you don't step into scalable CEO identity through motivation. You step into it through a structure that frees your nervous system and rewires how your business behaves when you're not in the room. This is the blueprint that separates the CEOs who reclaim their lives from the ones who quietly buckle under the weight of just one more thing. This is not about perfection. This is about predictability. It's about reliability. It's about building a business that no longer needs your adrenaline to survive. I'm going to walk you through the 5 pillars. Not lightly, but the way I'd walk you through them if you were sitting across the table from me in a coaching call. So let's go deeper. You can't have freedom without rhythm. And you can't have stability without cadence. You can't have a team you trust without a weekly structure that tells everyone exactly what matters and exactly when it matters. Most overwhelmed CEOs don't have a time problem. They have the rhythm problem. Their business pulses up predictably. Some weeks it's quiet. The next week, it's a total dumpster fire. And they think, well, it's just the industry. It's not the industry. It's the absence of rhythm. When you install a real operating system, a weekly meeting structure, consistent check-in, priority reviews, role ownership, departmental expectations, something beautiful happens. The business starts breathing on its own, not through your lungs, through its own. This is the moment you become the architect of flow. And this is where December becomes the test. Because a business without rhythm collapses under holiday pressure. A business with rhythm stays upright, calm, and predictable. So your rhythm, it's not optional. It's the backbone of the business that can't run without you. So let's get soul level honest here. Emergencies aren't caused by chaos. They're caused by absence of clarity. 90% of urgent fires I see in December never actually needed to happen. They aren't crisis. They're symptoms. Symptoms of undocumented process. Symptoms of one person being the keeper of critical knowledge. Symptoms of decisions living in your head instead of in your systems. A business that runs without you is not a business without problems. It's a business where problems don't escalate into emergencies because the system holds the weight. So when you have a delivery system, an invoicing system, a communication system, a problem-solving system, an escalation system, you erase 70% of your holiday stress. Systems don't restrict freedom. They actually create freedom. Without systems, you're the safety net. With the system, the business becomes its own safety net. And this is how you stop living in reaction and start living in design. This next one is tender because most CEOs don't want to admit it. But the reason the team waits is because the CEO taught them to wait. You solve faster, you answer quicker, you jump in before they even finish the sentence. And they learn, oh, this is how we do it. We wait for the boss. But hear me when I say this. Your team is not underperforming. They are underempowered. They haven't been taught to think like owners. They've been taught to ask for permission. So in December, when you need them to think the most, they freeze. This is where the 3-question decision filter becomes a leadership revolution. What's the real problem? What are the best solutions you see? What do you recommend and why? Every time your team uses it, they're not just solving a problem, they're practicing being the kind of leader your business needs when you're not available. And don't build a self-managed team by training them to think and letting them practice without rescuing them. This is how you stop being the bottleneck. This is how you become the leader who multiplies leadership around them. Next, let's step into the most triggered pillar for many CEOs, and that's boundaries. December boundaries breaches are not random. They're quite predictable. They come from clients who have been conditioned, often unintentionally, to treat you like the emergency department of their business. And here's the truth most of you CEOs don't want to face. You have drained your clients more than they have abused your time. Stay with me, because this is where everything now gets to shift. A scalable CEO sets boundaries before December, not during the crisis. They set expectations proactively. They communicate timelines before the client asks. They install auto-respondos that remove guilt and add clarity. And they define what will be done and what will not be done before the break begins. Your clients do not need unlimited access. They need reliable communication, clear timelines, and consistency. They don't need your emotional labor. They need your leadership. And when you hold these boundaries, something incredible happens. You can now stop overgiving. And they start respecting your business, and your nervous system finally gets a holiday too. So this identity shift, this is the center of the entire episode, because systems can run without you, teams can run without you, clients can operate with boundaries, but none of it works if you can't let go. Most CEOs don't fear the business falling apart. They fear facing who they are without the constant responsibility. When you stop being the firefighter or the fixer or the one everyone runs to, when you stop being the hero of every problem, you're forced to confront the identity you've been hiding behind. It's easier to fix than to trust, or to carry everything rather than delegate what scares you. It's easier to be needed than to be free. But freedom is the work. It's the identity. It's the future. And the moment you decide that your business is allowed to operate without you, your entire leadership identity shifts from I hold everything together to I build something that holds itself. This is the work of a scalable CEO. And this is the moment you begin practicing it today. And remember what I told you at the beginning? If you can't step away without everything breaking, the problem isn't the holidays. It's the structure. And that's exactly what we're rebuilding here. So let me bring this moment home for you, something you're going to need to hear. You don't earn your freedom by grinding harder. You earn it by building a business that doesn't collapse without you. And I know the idea of stepping away, it can feel terrifying because you've been the glue for so long. You've got what it feels like to not be the constant source of stability. But let me ask you something. If you disappeared for 7 days, what would break? And more importantly, why are you still the one holding that piece? You've built it from habit, from identity, from the belief that it's just easier if you do it. But the next version of your business, the version that supports your life instead of swallowing it, it can't be built on that belief anymore. This holiday season, let yourself practice the CEO you're becoming, not the operator you've always been. So here's your challenge. Choose one of these and act on it within 48 hours. Build a holiday coverage plan, delegate your top 3 weekly tasks, install a 3-question decision filter, or block 2 days for your CEO in Q1 and protect them like revenue. This isn't homework. This is now identity work. And if you're new here, welcome. If you've just stepped into a movement of CEOs who are rewriting how small businesses are built and led. And here's where we go next, depending on what level of support you want. So we have the DIY. Let's go over and download the CEO Time Leverage Blueprint now. The link is in the show notes. Or we have the Tool Vault. If you want the full system, the workbooks, the templates, the walkthrough, the training library, you could join the Tool Vault inside the Scalable CEO Academy. We have the Done With You program, the one-to-one or executive coaching. If you want deeper partnerships, personalized strategy, and structural evolution, book a call at Surbey.com. Again, links in the show notes. Or we can actually build a done-for-you system. If you want my team to install your CEO rhythm, reach out for a done-for-you CEO systems build. If this episode shook something loose, if it made you rethink how your business holds together, share it with another CEO who's carrying too much. This movement isn't about going faster. It's about building better. And every time you share, every time you subscribe, every time you leave a review, you help another CEO step up to survival mode and into scalable leadership. Your business is a tool, not your identity, not your burden, not your cage. I'll see you next week, CEO.